Los Angeles mayor declares state of emergency over staggering homelessness levels. The mayor of Los Angeles has declared a state of emergency. All mayors should be doing this, not just the city of Los Angeles. San Francisco, Oakland, the entire Bay Area, New York, all of these major cities should be doing this, and the entire South should be doing this. This is a pandemic here in America, homelessness, for many outside of the U.S. who don't know. The mayor of Los Angeles has declared a state of emergency as homelessness afflicts tens of thousands of people in the supposedly wealthy city. Tens of thousands, my ass. It's more like over 100,000. They always, in these quote-unquote estimates, they always underestimate the numbers, so as, you know, it doesn't look as bad. Karen Bass is the mayor of Los Angeles, announced the measure on Monday, saying the social malady, quote, afflicts more than 40,000, try over 100,000 individuals and affects every one of us throughout the city. Analysts have put the problem down to exceptionally high cost of living, 100%, and tax rates in the United States' second largest behind New York, which has come to be scattered with rough sleepers and vagrants, as well as tenants. I don't like the term vagrants. Rough sleepers, as well as tents, makeshift shelters, and dilapidated camper vans. The problem has also been linked to rampant substance abuse. I think substance abuse is an issue, but I think that one is overestimated. I think substance abuse is often like the scapegoat. Oh, they're druggies, and so, you know, we shouldn't take care of them. They've caused this on their own. No, I don't believe that. And mental health problem. Mental health is a big factor. I think I read or I saw something that stated it was like 50%, at least 50% of homeless people suffered from some mental health issue. The epidemic has caused visitors to Los Angeles to often express shock at the number of people living in the streets, and that's all they care about. America, the tourists, and these cities especially, the tourists, and you know, their money. That's all they care about. They don't care about the actual people inhabiting and living in the city. Speaking, especially the poor. Speaking only a day after taking office, however, Bass, the first woman to ever be tasked with leading the city, alleged, quote, "My mandate is to move Los Angeles in a new direction with an urgent and strategic approach to solving one of our city's toughest challenges." It's undoubtedly one of Los Angeles' toughest challenges, but there's no way in hell she's going to solve it. And it's not a slight against her personally or professionally. It's a slight against these American cities in general. They often talk about this homelessness issue, but have never adopted effective solutions to it. Saying that she will, quote, "not accept a homelessness crisis," the mayor added, using the emergency order in our ability to fast-track things, pledging a seismic shift in tactics. A lot of them should have done this. Should have used an emergency order. A lot of them, yeah. On all levels, the city, the state, the federal government. A lot of them should have declared an emergency on homelessness and people who are 1 and 2 steps to homelessness, because the vast majority of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and that's unacceptable, especially in a country like the U.S. Over the coming days, Bass said she would be signing off a series of executive orders targeting homelessness, promising an aggressive approach to providing temporary housing, by leasing apartments and motel rooms. Who knows if this will be an effective solution? But it mentioned temporary housing, leasing apartments and motel rooms. These guys need permanent. The temporary housing by leasing apartments and motel rooms, that's that should be a first step. But the ultimate goal should be to house them permanently. Bass, a former U.S. Congresswoman, won the mayoral job in a fight with wealthy property developer Rick Caruso. The campaign was dominated by the issue of homelessness, with Caruso blanketing the airwaves with promises of a fix. Tens of thousands of people sleep rough on Los Angeles streets every night in an epidemic that shocks many visitors to one of the wealthiest urban areas on the planet. The subject dominates civic discourse in a city where grubby figures beg at intersections. This article is really relentless against homeless people. What is wrong with this? The subject dominates civic discourse in a city where grubby figures beg at intersections. No, it is against homeless people. Or rage at their unseen demons as traffic swerves around them. Health and addiction problems are compounded by some of the most expensive housing in the United States. In a state and city where the cost of housing, where the cost of living is high and taxes are well above the national average. Yeah, California in general is, but it's not just California. California in general is a tough state to live in. The high cost of living, everything, especially the rent. Renting is so high in the state. It's about like $4,000 or $5,000 a month, which people do not make that. You have to live with multiple people to be able to afford a place like that. To be able to afford a place to live there. And so, but I don't believe this is just a California issue. I remember years ago, Texans used to laugh at Californians and talk about how, uninhabitable it was due to the high cost of living. And now they're experiencing the same issues. They shut the fuck up and they're experiencing the same issues. And they shut the fuck up rightly because of it. But who knows? Who knows whether or not this Karen Bass and it's not just her. You have to. It's the entire Los Angeles city government that has to, move forward with this and adopt effective policies concerning this. And I think they have to think outside of the box. Why? Because they've tried a lot of things over the years. So has San Francisco. So has New York. So a lot of these cities don't get credit for, trying things. They do rightly get a lot of the blame for not being, not doing enough, I think. Even though they haven't, tried, even though they've tried a variety of solutions over the years. This isn't just, something that's been happening recently. This is something over decades, multiple decades old. San Francisco is just one example of a city where this has been happening for so long, and mayors and city councilors have been talking about, and city councilors and councilmen and women have been talking about what to do with it. And so it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, not just for her, but for the entire city of Los Angeles to make a dent, not even, solve the entire thing, to make a dent. But this is an American problem. This isn't just a Los Angeles problem. This isn't just a San Francisco problem. This is an American problem. This is a pandemic in America, homelessness and poverty. And this is something that America doesn't take seriously. I heard, just recently somebody said, if you rob from the rich, that's when you go to jail. But if you rob from the poor, that's how you become rich. And so that's unacceptable, and it's so true concerning the United States. This is probably the biggest issue in America that's not being addressed or talked about nationwide.